with the win that the Broncos had against the Cowboys, is this a cause of concern for Dallas moving forward, or is this just a one-off performance for them?
I think with the division they're in, it's a one-off. They definitely have some things to work on. That defense needs to, I don't know, they got to go back and watch film because they gave up 191 yards on the ground. So anytime you do that, you're probably going to lose the football game. I was looking at the time of possession of that game, and Denver had the ball for 41 minutes. 41 minutes. The ball was in Dak's hand for 18 minutes of that game. That's just, there's no way you're going to win a game like that. They had two really good drives at the beginning of the game, and after that, the offense just stalled out. I think it also kind of comes back to some coaching decisions. So on those first two drives where Dallas was moving the ball, they went for it on 4th and 1 in one occasion. The second occasion, I don't know what the yardage was, but they also went for it on 4th down, and they got stuffed on both. And so that just stalls your drive. You get no points after driving down the field. And now your defense has to go out there down 16-0, 14-0, whatever the score was, and their backs are against the wall. Like you said, they didn't score until the fourth quarter, and they passed up on two key opportunities in the first quarter to score. So I get it. The league is heading to a place where it's a little more analytical. They take more chances on 4th downs. You see the Ravens do it. You see the Chargers do it. But sometimes it comes back to bite you. So I think they're still contenders. I think they're still okay. Speaking about Dallas there, their offense just did not look good today. They didn't do well on 3rd down. I think their 3rd down efficiency was like 38%. So they left a lot of yardage out there. But we got to give it up to the Broncos. They went out there with a game plan and they stuck to it. They ran the ball. Teddy managed the clock, which is his strength. You know, he's not going to go out there and throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns. That's not his game. He's more of a game manager. But Denver's defense came to play today, and it really showed on the field.
So, I mean, AJ pretty much took all the thunder here. I mean, this is going to be difficult for me to make my valid points or use my emotions to kind of get in this. But I'm just going to look at the camera real quick, and I'm just going to point out, and you guys know who you are. Every Dallas fan out there that's been riding this season like it's a Super Bowl year, I've been defending you guys, and then you go and fucking lose to the Broncos at home. You don't just lose, you get mollywopped, and you throw garbage time touchdowns and garbage time 2-point conversions. Y'all not going to get away with this bullshit. Y'all were down 30-0 at home. Your offense is healthy. I've been praising y'all. This is going to be their year. They're going to contend. They're going to go for an NFC championship potentially. They're going to fight in the NFC. And Kyle has been telling me, bro, they're going to lose, man. This isn't the real Dallas. And I'm converting him to start believing, like, bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, they look different. This is different. This is for real. They're going to get healthy. Granted, their defense did show up, and they did sack Teddy about 4 times. And, you know, they did – no, that's about it. That's the only good thing they did because I thought they got a hold, but they didn't. So, guys, realistically, I'm looking at this Cowboys team, and I'm saying, what the hell was this? Like, everyone's owed or due a hiccup. Everybody gets a mistake, like I said the last segment. But I'm just looking at this like, no. This ain't no mistake. This is an embarrassment. If you were in Denver, I get it, the crowd noise, the elevation, whatever excuse you want to use, global warming, I don't give a shit. You're indoors, you're home, you're 5-1. They just traded their historic best defensive player in their history.
Yep.
That's supposed to be like a demoralizing, like bullshit. Like, oh, everyone said the Broncos have given up. This was their waving of the red flag or the white flag saying they're checked out. And then they dropped 30 on Dallas. Now, again, Dallas isn't known for their crazy defense. Dallas is not known at all for their swarming, stifling, anything. Where was Diggs at? Because that boy was getting cooked left and right in some of the plays we was watching. Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, and God knows who else the fuck did whatever they need. Bro, he was getting his sauce work, bro. So I don't want to hear no type of shit about Defensive Player of the Year. I need to put some respect. Shout out to my dog, Darius Leonard. He's not even in the conversation. But we're not going to get into that tonight because it's not about that. We're bigger. We're better than that. So I'm just looking at the stat line over here. Dak got garbage time, so their stats are literally irrelevant. But I'm just going to circle something here. They did get behind relatively quickly, so the run game was non-existent. We all know that Dallas does their best football when they run the football. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott had a combined total rushing attempt of 14 for a total of 62 yards. So once again, Denver's defense was swarming and they were also able to contain the run. So, I mean, from beginning to end, they didn't stop the pressure. They kept their foot on the gas. And like the Colts did, kind of like on Thursday night, they kind of just made sure they kept everything in front of them. So what? They gave up 2 garbage time touchdowns. I knew it was a little bit too far to reach. But shout out to Denver, man. Everybody wrote them off, myself included. I didn't really think that they were going to be able to do this. I thought Dallas was going to steamroll over, and they came away with the upset, man. Shout out to them, for real.
I mean, to focus on Dallas here, this is probably going to be the worst game that they have of the entire season. But I got to be honest. This was Dak's first game back, after he had the calf issue that he had been dealing with the last couple of weeks. And he looked bad. There was in one point in this game where he only completed 6 out of his 19 or 20 passes, his first 20 passes. He just looked rusty. And, there were some wide open receivers that he missed. There were some passes to CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper where they have some separation. It's just that Dak wasn't able to make those passes, wasn't able to execute properly. And to kind of hit on a point that AJ made, really, they dug themselves in a hole right in the beginning of the game. Going for those 2 4th downs on back-to-back drives, I think it was a bad decision. The first one, I can kind of live with that one. But going for it on the second one, when they were in the red zone, I mean, look, granted, I know they're trying to be aggressive. I know they're trying to, get up 7-0 compared to 3-0. But it's sometimes you just got to accept the fact. It's hey, you know what? The defense got us on this one. Let's just settle for the 3 points. Let's at least get on the board, and let's put the pressure back on Denver to make it a game after that. And really, once they missed that second 4th down, it put them behind the 8 ball the entire game, just because Denver was able to get some really good drives in the first half. They were getting great production from Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, especially Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, man, that man could not be stopped whatsoever. There were multiple plays where he was getting several yards after first contact and just dragging defenders along with him. I thought Melvin Gordon had a solid game to go along with that. And I thought Teddy played one of his most efficient games, if not one of his better games of the entire season. And with the way that Dallas' secondary was playing, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, there were plays where they got great separation against Dallas's corners and safeties, and they were able to make some big plays. I really thought that one Tim Patrick 44-yard bomb from Teddy, that really kind of blew this game open. And Dallas, once they got down in that hole, they just couldn't get anything offensively going, any sort of consistency on that side of the ball. And it's like you guys said, the Cowboys only possessed the ball for 18 minutes in this game compared to the 41 and a half minutes with Denver. Denver owned this game from beginning to end. And really, I know the score says 30-16, but those are just garbage time points. And I mean, Denver was up 30-0 on the road against one of the best teams in the NFC. So, give credit where credit is due. Denver came to play today. Dallas just looked out of sorts from the beginning, and I'm not really going to account for much as far as the garbage time points goes, but Dallas hasn't really had a bad game this year up until this point. Even the one loss that they had against the Bucs, they lost in a game-winning field goal, and they lost that game by 2 points. Outside of that, they've looked spectacular the entire year. But yeah, this is probably their worst game of the entire year, and it might just be a blip on the radar throughout the entire season when we look back on it. But yeah, this was quite a shocker as far as I'm concerned, because I thought that Dallas would just kind of march through Denver this week, just because, Kevin, when we did our episode last week, we didn't even mention them in one of our topics because we just kind of assumed that Dallas would just kind of roll through. But Denver just gave them the hands today. They gave them the business, and I got to give them credit for that. So I think Dallas will be okay moving forward, but yeah, this is an ugly loss as far as I'm concerned with the Cowboys.